I'm calling to order the Board of Health meeting for October 28th, 2020. So we are now in session.
Okay.
That's your cue tree.
Yeah. I'd like to move to, but can we do this without representation, or that's my question?
You have to open the
The
hearing.
public hearing?
Yeah, you have to open it. You can,
So-
always continue it if he's not here, but
Okay.
you have to open it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd like to move to open the November 28th public hearing.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
You have to second it.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Second.
Thank you.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Oh, thank goodness. All right, I'm going to read the notice. So, Town of Ayer notice of public hearing application to operate a motel, 96 East Main Street. In accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 140, Section 32B, the Ayer Board of Health will hold a remote public hearing on Wednesday, October 28, 2020 at 5:30 p.m. regarding the application for license to operate a motel submitted to the Neshoba Associated Boards of Health on behalf of the Ayer Board of Health by Mimi's Place, LLC, for the motel located at 96 East Main Street. The license is for 20 rooms and 60 guests of an existing motel. Do I have to read the second part about the copies of the application?
No, you can just say that they're available at the town hall.
Okay, all right.
No one asked for it, but that's good.
Okay, all right. So yeah, if you want to see the application, it's available in town hall. Oh gosh, I am sorry. I'm not playing video games. That's just the way I have my work phone set up, so I know which phone is which. Oh gosh. So let me stop this. All right. So we have an application that was submitted by Stephen Wenzel, who has purchased the Casamana Motel from Main Street in Ayer, and he has applied for a license to operate the motel because he is a new owner, so he has to have his own license to operate. And the only other information on his application is, as I had mentioned at the beginning, it's 20 rooms, 60 guests. It's going to be town water, it's town sewage, and he is going to contract for garbage and rubbish removal. So, as you know, the routing sheet goes around to all the departments in town that get to weigh in on this. And I have received back a number of comments, and I'll just kind of summarize briefly. I'm not really going to, read through all of these, but as I do this, if someone has a question or wants to speak up, particularly if I'm not doing a good job of representing your thoughts as you wrote them down, please do so. So first off, fire department indicated that they're waiting for a determination from a design professional to see if a fire alarm system is required for the building and the attached office space. So that's kind of an outstanding. Does anyone have any update on that?
I can chime in on that if you want.
Okay, great, yeah.
So our fire prevention lieutenant, Bozic, went down there, and Steve's been cooperating with that part of it anyways. So when we talk about the fire alarm part of it too, it's just the building that, or I would call it the house that's on East Main, and the attached rooms in the back on Page Street. That would be the only area that, because otherwise the ones in the back off of Page are considered single family. But I think that's the important part. This is the time we can see if it is time to upgrade that stuff. And what the design professional will do, will determine, and they're a party that would be separate from either of us, what kind of fire alarm and what should be put in there. So I think that should be certainly done if the design professional comes back, or contingent upon that they do that fire alarm part.
Okay. Do you have any, I'm not pressing you for a date, just do you have any idea?
No, and I don't know whether the building inspector and the fire prevention lieutenant were together, but no, they've been working cooperatively about it. So it's just a matter of that design professional, whether they're busy, have it scheduled, not sure of a time frame. But certainly we would like to hear back from them and see what they have to say.
Okay, that makes perfect sense to me.
And like I said, Steve's been working well, and we had met with somebody, they didn't want to do it, so he hired a design professional, and that's where it is so far.
Okay. Do all of the rooms have
Yeah, so
fire
I
alarm
actually, I had
sprinklers, or-
conversation, so that part we're talking about, the house and the rooms that are attached to the house, or I say attached, it might be just a canopy or a roof. Those
Sure.
are 110 powered, but the rooms in the back have just single station. Now what I mean about that, they just have a smoke and CO detector. So when they go off, they just go local. So what may be required up front is if something were to go off in those rooms that are adjacent or attached to the house, that they would actually go somewhere. They would go to a fire alarm company and notify us. So that could be what's at issue. But that design professional will be the ones that look at the state laws and what are applicable and just let us and Steve know where to go from there.
Okay.
Because we've reached out to the fire marshal's office and the code compliance, and that's what they said to do, and Steve agreed with that.
Sounds perfectly reasonable to me.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where we stand. Like I said, we hope before he would able to move forward that he would, based on what they tell us, what they should do.
Okay.
Okay,
Just
thank
keep,
you.
keep us posted.
We sure will.
Get
Thanks,
new
Tim.
info. Thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Let's see, who else do I have here? I have from building inspector. Don't know if you're out there or not, Charlie, but if you are, I'm describing your, so you had indicated that you're fine with an approval, but also attached just a little page saying that if any of the units have cooking capabilities, they have to abide by the following. And that is a guest may not occupy the unit for more than 2 continuous months, nor may any guest reoccupy any unit within 3 days of a continuous 2-month stay. So there's some kind of limitations on how long you can be in a unit, but it sounds like that's tied into only if there's a cooking facility. So does that actually
can you hear
have to
me?
mean like a stove or?
Yes, Charlie. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you could hear me or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, Bridget and I discussed that earlier. And
Okay.
so it would be by the Board of Health regulations, what's considered a cooking area.
Okay.
And the last part of the last sentence is that you can't claim residency if you're living at a hotel motel. And I think there's some evidence that shows that people have been living there.
Oh, okay, right. Have that be your legal residence or your voter registration residence or something.
Right.
Okay. All right. Is
And
that
Bridget's
also,
on top of that also.
Excuse
is
me.
that also tied to the residency claim? Is that tied to the cooking capabilities, or does that apply to any motel?
I think it applies to any motel because it's a sentence by itself.
Okay, got it. All right.
But I have a question about I know Tim's talked about the residence up front and the rooms attached to that versus the ones in the back. Charlie, are they all the same floor plan? Do they have kitchenettes, or what's the capability as far as cooking and electrical and all that? Are they all the same?
That we don't know yet. He put in for a building permit for use occupancy, and he has not scheduled the final inspection yet for us to go through the unit.
Okay.
He probably should have listed it, what each unit had for this hearing, so you people would know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just
exactly.
I'm wondering, because of the age of the place has been there forever, and I'm wondering, are there people in there now? Is it occupied by anybody right now?
Oh, yes. He just basically bought it from the people who owned it, and I think all the same people are still in there, and he's just operating as it always has been operated.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I have some notes about that. Anything else on the, kind of building zoning side of things?
No,
Okay.
just that he has that open permit for the final inspection, and I normally do that with the fire prevention officer, and on this one, probably Bridget would also come with us.
Okay, gotcha. Got it.
So he doesn't have an occupancy permit for the town of Ayer yet until he calls me and we do this inspection.
Yeah, so how does that impact the people that are already there? If when you do the inspection, if you find something that means you can't issue the permit?
Well, normally we give them a time period to correct it, and normally they do.
Okay, got it. All right. So that's going to kind of go the normal course of things then between you and fire and Bridget. And it's tied to the occupancy permit. So that makes sense.
So I just wanted to ask, do all of those rooms have, to clarify, do all of those rooms have cooking capability? Do they have like a kitchenette, an oven, a hot plate? What are they all?
I have never been in all the rooms. We inspect the common areas. So I would think it would be important for Mr. Wetzel to list what rooms have cooking areas, and that we get permission to come in to make sure that that count is correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I'm really surprised that there isn't a representative of the owner or the owner here, but that is information that we would want to get from them.
We need that.
Yeah. Okay. Then the next thing that I would like to mention is, so from the police review, there was a comment, and this actually has been brought up to me by several other people. It's not just the police that stand out, that Mr. Wenzel has spoken in the past about wanting to open some sort of a shelter in Ayer. And the concern here is that, is this really operating as a motel, or is it functioning more as a shelter, rather than what we would typically consider a roadside motel? And then the chief had also indicated that there was kind of a little uptick in calls and service that they've had to provide. I have a few weeks worth of reports that are like August and September that have, some of the usual, just, maybe somebody called, but there's been, like noise complaint, a disturbance. So I don't know if that's really a trend that's going on, but I certainly think that I would want to get some updates from police if it really does seem like there's a true trend that you can identify here. If you're having more calls, or if you're having calls of a different nature, if they're things that are a little more serious perhaps than they have been in the past, definitely let us know. But if you'd like to address that, certainly please feel free to speak.
How you doing, Pam?
Good.
Yeah, so you do have those numbers. I sent another email out later this afternoon.
Okay.
It's kind of giving you an update on the numbers of
Hello?
service.
Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Yes?
Yeah.
So this is Steve Wenzel calling.
Oh, hi, Steve.
Hi, I've been trying to get onto the meeting. I was looking for links and I've been calling all around. I just had the idea to put the TV on and I got some numbers and now I called, so I apologize.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I can't, I thought I was doing this over the computer, but maybe I'm doing it over the phone, so sorry
okay.
about that.
Either way works. Either way works. So this was actually a
Okay.
very good point that you joined us. And I'm sorry, Chief Murray, I don't mean to
Okay.
jump in on your time, but I just wanted to point out to Mr. Wenzel that one of the things we were talking about is the fact that you have mentioned to various people in town that one of the things you would like to do is open some sort of shelter in the town.
Yes.
So there are some concerns, of course, about whether this business, Mimi's Place, is it truly a motel or is it more of a shelter? Because the permitting is different.
Right, and I had talked to Charlie Schultz, and we talked about usage, and I said I have no plans to turn this into anything other than what it is.
Okay.
And I know I have a good relationship with the town as far as letting people know what I'm trying to do. So that is definitely not something that I'm looking to do. I don't think it's an appropriate building for that. For those of you who know how it's laid out, it just doesn't make sense to do it there.
Okay.
And if I can chime in again, on the building permit application, he did write no change of use. So it would
Okay.
stay in Right. the motel
Okay.
from the town's perspective.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So when you got in, finally, I'm glad you were able to get in.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just, I don't know what made me think to look at the TV. I said, oh, wait, maybe
I'm
there's a
glad you
phone
did.
number on the TV. I was looking for just to call the meeting and say, hey, how do I get into this thing?
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm glad you managed to be resourceful. Great.
Yeah, technology is not my friend, I guess.
It turns on all of us from time to time. So what I had just asked before you came in, Chief Murray, if he'd like to elaborate on, is just kind of the police calls, you know, for the past few months that have gone to that site and whether they're any different in number or in severity, I guess, as compared to
Sure.
previous.
Okay.
So what I was saying, Pam, is there doesn't seem to be a real uptick in the severity of calls,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's interesting to note in the first 7 months of the year, there were 21 calls for service to the address. In the last 3 months, there's been 18, almost the same number in less time. So I think that's something that, you know, I can't explain it. The calls are pretty much the same types of stuff. You know, disturbances, you know, are three each time.
Yeah.
You know, various levels of medicals and other stuff, assist citizen and that kind of thing. But it's just, I think it just says something about the number of calls in a 7-month period as it relates to the number of calls in a 2-month period. What that means,
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know, but I think that that's something that bears watching.
So it was 18 in the last 3 months, and you said how many for the prior 7?
For the first 7, it was 21.
21. Okay, got it.
All
Okay.
right, so
I'm sorry.
just to
a point of information. I've owned the motel less than 2 of those months out of those 3. So it might be worth checking into that, or just, I don't know how you do that, but.
Well, if we could, that's something that's missing from the information that's been given me. We don't know how
Yeah.
long you've owned it, Stephen, so if that,
Right, I'm just letting you know, I might be getting.
Yeah.
So I know at least, and I'm sure the chief probably knows better than me, but I know at least there was one couple that there were quite a few calls from my understanding on. And I did see the cruiser there. I know they were trying to chase people through the woods or something once. Eventually they did apprehend them. I thought that was maybe the bulk of them, but I do remember a couple of calls for people being sick.
Can I ask a
I hear
question of-
things, but
so could we find out, Steve, could you tell us when you bought the place?
sure, September 2nd.
9/2. Okay, that'll help me in, maybe I can get some updated numbers for you, Pam.
Okay, that would be good.
Thank you.
Hey, Pam, could I ask Steve a question?
Sure.
So Steve, since it's a motel and it's daily rentals, can you make them leave if, there's numerous calls? It's not like you have to give them a 30-day notice, right?
Right. I can ask people to leave, not so much the calls, but maybe what they're for.
Okay.
I don't know the best way
Okay,
to explain that, but yeah, there could be a call from somebody that, I don't know, just wants to call on somebody because they were noisy or something. And maybe they weren't noisy. So, but yeah, I can't just randomly toss people out. Just like I can't randomly say, I'm going to rent to you for the night, but not you. There are circumstances like if someone's intoxicated or something, I can turn somebody down, but I actually get fined and charged with a misdemeanor if I start turning people away without a really good reason.
Sure.
Right. I'm not saying turning people away. I'm saying that people seem to be staying there for months at a time.
Right.
And if there become an issue with calls to the police department and fire department, they don't have a lease or anything, do they?
No, everybody well, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of the people are week to week. So I have a daily rate and a weekly rate.
So Steve, can I
Okay.
ask a question about that? What is,
Sure.
when you bought the property, legally, is there some kind of a contractual, some kind of guidelines when you have a motel? What exactly, how long can people stay? They just can keep renewing week after week, or is there, I'm just, it's kind of muddled.
Well,
I'm not sure how that,
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good question because I took over, and again, I just took it over, but I mean, there's people that have been there for years.
oh,
So it's just, I know in the regulations, I've read them a lot. It does say if people have nowhere to go, I can't just say you have to leave after 30 days or something.
right.
So, I mean,
But
there's a lot of rules.
Is there something in writing legally that gives you, like if someone is constantly causing trouble, is there something in writing, I guess I'm asking, that protects you as the owner too?
Yeah, I would say yes. I caution everybody that I can't just, maybe I don't like the way somebody does something, I can't just do it. But say somebody's getting called and they're going out selling drugs. Let's just use that as an example. And but I have to know about it too. If I don't know, I might not even know the police came 3 times unless
Right.
somebody tells me.
Right.
So I
But I
think
mean,
some of you may know
you have guidelines just as a landlord that, excuse me, owns an apartment building. Like they don't pay their rent or they don't do certain things, you can ask them to leave. There's something in
Oh,
writing.
of course.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So I got
Yeah, I have requested the last 2 months of printouts from the police station on the calls that they went out to.
Mhm.
So I knew going into this that there were a fair amount of calls out to that location.
Mhm.
But I was speaking with Bridget, and she thought they were even higher. I said, well, I need to at least look into that because I don't know about all of them.
Mhm.
I know about a few of them, but I don't know. That's
Right.
why I say I don't know if it were 10 of them to one couple and then the rest were spread out amongst 2 other people. I don't know what they are, so.
Got it.
And I don't know what charges they are. I think the chief said they were similar to the past.
Mhm.
My guess is that I would think the people that are, at least causing the trouble came with the building in September. So,
And that's a good point, because
Yeah.
that's when I asked that question, how long, you said some of these people have been there for years, so that would explain
right.
a pattern. Getting back to, I'm glad that you finally chimed in. I wanted to know about the Chief Johnson said, or Tim Johnson said
Yeah.
that they were still waiting on some permits, but the cooking capability in each unit, are they different? The back detached units, are those different than the ones in the front? Do they have like hot
Yes.
plates or kitchenettes or?
Yeah, the ones in the back, and there's 10 of those, technically on 1214 Page Road or Page Street.
Yeah.
But there's stoves there.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily like a kitchen, but there's a stove, a sink.
Well, we used to call them like
I don't know
kitchenettes in a hotel. Like
Yeah, I guess a
little mini
kitchenette would
kitchens,
be.
yeah.
Yeah, so there's what I call the traditional motel, 6 units up that are on the other side of Page Street, but technically on East Main Street.
Yeah.
But those would be more of a typical motel. There's no kitchens of any kind in there.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's just the back
Okay.
detached unit.
Yeah, they're like cottages back there.
Okay. And there's 6, did you
And
say 6? 6 of them?
Well, out back there's 10 units and 6 buildings. So there's I think one has 3 units, one has 2, another one might have 2, and there's some singles.
Okay. And
It's
those
a
are
quirky
all
little property.
And those
those are the ones that have the stoves. Is that what you're saying?
So,
And then the
yeah.
ones that are connected kind of to the office area don't.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Because that's one of the issues that we just briefly mentioned earlier. I'm so sorry that you had trouble getting in. But there's something about having.
It's a zoning bylaw.
Thank you, Charlie. I'm shuffling my documents here. Take it away, Charlie. You're going to do a better job than I will.
Yeah.
I can't quote it verbatim, but if it has a cooking capabilities, the people are only allowed to stay there for 2 consecutive months, and they have to leave for 30 days and go back only for 2 more consecutive months. So if those are some of the long-term rental people, that would be against the town of Ayer zoning bylaw.
Okay, so it's in the town of Ayer zoning bylaw?
Yep, it's in our zoning bylaw. I think it's actually under the definition of motel, hotel. Pam has the exact wording in my comment.
Yeah, and it is a little convoluted, but any unit that has cooking facilities. A guest cannot occupy that unit for more than 2 continuous months, nor can they come back again within 30 days if they've already been there for 2 months. And the total number of months that they can stay in any calendar year is 4 months. And then the other thing is they can't claim that as their residence. So they can't be registered to vote there, their driver's license, it can't have that address. Because I'm kind of wondering if it is your intent to have people stay long-term like this, I'm wondering if what you're applying for is really the right thing, or if this is more like, help me out, Bridget and Charlie, is this more like an apartment complex, or is it more like a rooming house, or does it fit under some other, say, section of the regs that would allow you to have these long-term people and not have an issue with it?
I think that with this information and the fact that we have 5, I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but I think there were 4 or 5 people registered there as that's their residence.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
with that said, I got that information today from the clerk's office. I think maybe we can't define what he is until he maybe puts this in writing to us. Because this is sort of as a result of him applying for this permit and us doing the interdepartmental review, all of these things came to light. And no, it doesn't, regardless of what was happening before, he's now a new owner and it's not subject to grandfathering. So I can't say what he is until he formally presents in writing what his intent is at this point, because based on, and I did not even know that clearly until late yesterday and today, Charlie brought that definition to light regarding the zoning bylaw. So it's a multi-phase process at this point between, Charlie and I, but we would need something in writing from him to better answer that question.
From me?
Because it doesn't seem like if you have people staying there for years at a time, and they're declaring residency there, then it seems to me that it's not a hotel motel at this point.
Right. It's an
Or fully a hotel, maybe part of the building is a hotel motel, but the back end of it, where those 10 units are not. I mean, do you know that your residents get mail there?
I know I've seen some mail go there.
Okay.
Does that apply to the front, this same regulation about the 2 months and then reapplying and coming back and forth because of the, does that apply to the front residents? And the
that
ones
would
that don't
be,
have stoves?
that applies to any unit that has cooking capability. The not being able to claim residency there applies to all
of
units.
them. Yep.
But the cooking capabilities is a 2 months and 4 months total.
So what would the difference be for the front residents and the attached? Wouldn't be any different?
Well, the front residence, if there's no cooking capabilities, and we won't know until Steve gives us a layout of what's in each unit. But you still, in no motel or hotel can you claim that's your residence,
Right.
according to our zoning bylaw.
Okay, and they they can only stay 2 months and then reapply no matter which.
No,
unit.
only if they have cooking capabilities.
Okay, that's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I see.
So I agree with Bridget that we need something, plan of the units and what each one has in it to make a determination if it is a hotel motel, or maybe takes out the stoves and just rents it, before we can really give them the okay.
Yeah, I think that that's reasonable. And Steve, you might also want to look into, if you want to continue with the long-term residents, you know, you might want to explore, is there something, could you do that if you were something other than a motel? And I don't know, Charlie, if you know that, are there, like, if they were considered apartments, that wouldn't apply, right?
That opens up a whole can of worms. Number one,
Exactly.
there's different definitions for everything.
Right.
But then when it becomes a change of use, sometimes you have to bring certain parts of it up to code, which could be very expensive depending on what their evaluation.
Yeah.
And from a housing code standpoint too, if he's renting out those units in the back, let's say those 10 units, there's, from the housing code perspective, you can only have so many people in a unit per, you know, there's a certain square footage based on bedrooms. So are there kids in there? Is there lead paint in there? You know, that's another issue in itself that would have to be looked at, from a housing standpoint of apartment rentals.
Yeah, lead paint. That's an interesting point, Bridget.
That's been around a long time.
But is there
Exactly?
I don't know if there's an age difference between the front residence and the back cottage units. Charlie might know. I don't know, but
I know back in 1965, the back ones were there then.
Oh, really? Okay.
So do you know, Steve, if your building has been de-leaded at all? Did they give you that information when you purchased the building?
They did not.
Okay. So that's another whole issue in itself. You know, as far as hotel motel, I'm not sure how the lead law fully applies there, but for the housing, if there's tenants back there with children, then you know, the lead law applies back there.
Yeah. And that's an interesting point, whether the lead thing only applies to apartments, or does that also apply to motels if you have
I don't think it does. I don't think it does because it's meant for short term. So, you know, you could have, there's different, but that's quick, you know, off the cuff thinking. But I do know for long-term, you know, rentals, and if there's children back there, this brings up another concern as well. Are there any kids living there, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. So we have children living out in those, and how big are those units?
I don't know square footages of any of them.
How many bedrooms?
I've only been in them once. I don't go in them. So. They're small. I know they're small. I know they're not very big.
So when you purchased it, you didn't do a full walkthrough of the?
Yeah, that's what I did. I did a walkthrough. I just poked my head in the door and looked.
Okay, but they didn't give you a detailed description when you purchased it of each individual room, or are any of them 2 bedrooms?
I guess it's possible, but I'd say probably doubtful. Maybe 1 or 2 of them.
Okay. So how long have these kids been living there?
Yeah, I don't know. I just know there are some kids there.
Okay. So I guess that's part of the thing that, from a Board of Health perspective, is we'll need to know what every room, we'll need a layout of every room and the current number, if people have been there long-term, the current number of occupants in each and ages, maybe. I don't, you know, just thinking again off the cuff really quickly, but that's a concern for the back end. Those 10 units.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And Mr. Fire Chief again?
Yes.
And certainly, both from Bridget and what Charlie is saying, the change of use certainly could depend on how that design professional looks at that fire alarm system too. So like Charlie and Bridget alluded to, you got to figure out what exactly the use is going to be. And professionally, Steve, wouldn't you agree that I would consider those back units, having been there professionally, like a studio. I don't recall any separate bedrooms. Is that a correct statement, Steve?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I thought a lot of them had like a room off to the side, like there's a living room, kitchen type thing, and then there's another room off to the side. Not all of them. I just don't know.
Okay. Yeah. And I know
But
you.
I think what.
Go ahead.
So the fire alarm system really has nothing to do with those back units. It's for the front units.
Correct. Yep. But just
So,
based on our conversation, I would agree with that. And I guess it's just to make sure that exactly how you want to, make sure the use is going to be what you're asking for. And we are concerned only with the front. You are correct.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't know why I would change it from a motel. I mean,
Yeah. Now, does that front,
wouldn't make sense for me to do that, but.
now does that
So are you
front-
asking, so I need to know what you guys are really asking me to do. Do you want me to have people leave? They've been there too long? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to comply with the zoning. So if you do have people in those units that have been there for longer than the zoning allows, then yeah, you're gonna have to enforce that.
Okay, so when people are living on the streets, I just want you to know that's what you're telling me to do. I mean, you have to think of this a different way too.
So
Not
I'm
everybody can
confused.
just run in. Not everyone can just run and go rent a
I
place.
know,
That's what motels are.
I
They're like the
know.
last stop before you're on the street. So if you want me
I
throwing people
understand,
out,
believe me.
I'd like that in writing, please, if you're willing to do that.
Yeah,
I
Well,
am
Can I
willing to do it.
interject here? Pam,
yeah, of course, yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I keep muting myself by accident. I think from the Board of Health perspective, there's, and I did speak to town council regarding this, and from a Board of Health perspective, this is a hotel and motel, and we need to make sure that it is a hotel and a motel. What we're going to need, I think, for the purposes of at least the Board of Health, Charlie has a separate issue as far as the zoning bylaw and people claiming residency there. But what we really need to have is a complete layout of the building, a drawing of all 10 units, what's in there, the square footage of them. And I can put this in writing too after the meeting, if you agree. And then a guest list, who's been there, how long, the fees that they have been paying. And then I would think, for purposes, again, for the Board of Health anyway, we're making sure that, again, it's a hotel and a motel. How long have people been there? And are there kids in there? And again, we're looking at the square footage of the units. And then there's a whole, separate issue, again, of the zoning bylaw, which is, Charlie, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. And once
Yeah, so,
we get the count and figure out how many have the kitchens and how many people are claiming residency, and that can always be appealed to the ZBA, or you can always go to the ZBA and ask for a variance to that.
That's absolutely correct, which might be the way that you want to go, Steve, is to keep it the way it is. It sounds like you'd be getting deeper into the weeds if you changed it from a motel to something else. So
Well, it's been run like this for, I'm told, 60 years. So
yeah,
I am a new owner, but I mean, people have been in and out of there. Somebody should have noticed something, I would think. And now I bought it, and I've got to figure out what am I supposed to do. So
yeah,
I know the town. I know the town's willing to work with me a little. I do. You guys are reasonable. Everybody's reasonable. So the fire department's been very reasonable as I've tried to get this designed for them. So,
It just
and I
sounds,
think people that know me know that I will do the right thing. So
I don't
I just-
doubt that.
yeah.
I just feel like the the information that you were given when you bought it is so vague. It's like the questions like how big and how long have people been there, the things that we want to know from a Board of Health standpoint, as far as Bridget was saying, like even talking about lead and things in the building that you weren't 100% sure about. It's almost like you weren't given 100% of the information that you needed when you purchased. I'm kind of surprised at the lack of information. It's not your fault. I have all these questions and I'm not hearing like all the answers that I thought I would hear.
Yeah, I think what we're working up to here is there is a list of additional information that we need
Right.
from you.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
what Bridget was referring to. So we will
Yeah,
definitely send you that.
yeah, I can definitely do whatever you want me to
Yep.
do. So I'm willing to do that.
So what I can do,
yeah,
Steve, is
Well, for length of time there, I don't have anything. I'll have to rely on what they tell me.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, if that's okay, I mean, I can do that, but I can't say, oh, they came here 6 months ago.
so can I, if you don't mind, Steve?
Sure.
When you bought it,
Yeah.
did they not leave the records for you?
That's
Yeah.
a question too.
Because
Those are
again,
all
I'm
taken.
just.
So you don't have the
Yeah.
record before the occupancy?
I have none of that.
Okay.
So not that you need to know, but the accounting measures of it, I couldn't, because I pay a tax on anyone who's been there for less than 90 days. So I actually pay the tax because I can't figure it out. I talked to my accountant, I says, I can't figure it out. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I said, whatever they're paying, I'm going to add the tax onto, and they're not paying any more tax. Just
So
to try to even it out. So
where are the old owners?
I don't know.
So
Okay.
Steve, when
I
you
mean, I have some idea. I do have some idea where they are, but I don't know exactly where.
I just didn't know if you knew them, if you could reach out to them possibly. You know, that was just where I was going with that one. If the old owners are still around, I can also check with town council on that, Pam and Trish, to see.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just
So can I
surprised.
chime in?
Go ahead.
Yes,
Hello?
of course.
Yep.
So for me in the town of Ayer zoning bylaw, it only started when he purchased it. I don't go back because it was grandfathered before. So I don't need the records for me. And if he just purchased it 2 months ago, he is just getting into the phase of maybe triggering a violation
Right.
for the back 10 units with the cooking things. And Steve, if you want, I've stopped down a couple of times, but I don't think you get there till 11. I can stop down and go over it with you.
So, okay, so I work a different job from 8 to 4:30.
Oh, okay.
But I could take some time off. To go over that. The grandfathering thing's interesting. I had no thoughts of even thinking about that, but it seems like if something was a bakery in a residential zone and somebody sells it, it still can be a bakery. So
Well, you can still be a hotel. But
so I'm grandfathered to be a motel.
It's even though it's residential. But the thing is that when a violation, I become aware of it, I can't close my eyes to it. And when you purchased it, everyone was doing their research, and that's when we became aware of it.
Okay.
so on that note, Pam and Trish, if you're okay with it, I can just come up with the list that it was through town council of the things that we would be looking for, which would be the number of rooms, occupant size. We look at the records. So again, Steve, it would just be from the point that you purchased it. What,
If we
what
kind of
they're,
start the clock then,
yeah, that's when the clock started. And then, part of that is what, what are the rates for weekly, daily,
Yep.
and then I can just put that whole list together for you. And for me, anyway, for purposes of just a description of each unit in a drawing, it doesn't have to be anything in architectural drawing. It can just be, you going
Right.
through each unit and then drawing it by hand so that when we go through each unit, your notes match what's actually there. And we have record of it now,
Okay.
if that makes sense. And I think will make it easier for you if that, like I said, I can just send that list to you by email if the board is okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. How long will you give me to do all that?
So I would say, and again, Pam and Trish, we wouldn't close this meeting, and Heather, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to get the language wrong, but we would continue the meeting to another date, but
Yeah.
we have to set that date and time.
Right.
I personally, out of fairness to Steve, this is not, could be a lengthy thing for him to do. I say
Right.
push it to the end of November. Or even if the
Yes.
board wants to schedule it the first meeting at the beginning of December. If that, just because,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously
Yeah, all
there's a
the-
whole host of other issues going on as well.
Yes.
Maybe some people will leave too, so I don't know. So I don't have any control either if someone claims it as a residence. I mean, I guess it's against me, I guess, but somebody could be there a week and claim it as their residence. I don't know.
Well, you're right. You can't control.
I don't even claim it as my residence, so it's kind of weird.
Right.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah,
So
well,
that couldn't that be part of his, and I'm just jumping in, Steve, that could also, I mean, you obviously must have policies and procedures in place. Could you check with an attorney to see if, you could just make people know upfront that they can't claim that as a residency? Again, just thinking out
I
loud.
was thinking
I
along
could-
the same lines. Yeah.
I could probably just tell them that.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
if you want to do that
I mean,
too,
I
but
I mean,
But
it
I mean,
could
they-
be
You know-
something that you give in writing to, to anybody who already has well, not residence, but anybody who's already in there. That's kind of a long-term thing. And then if people come in, new people come in and rent, then you would give them that same thing. The thing about you, and it would
Yeah, I'm
have all
thinking
the,
that-
you can't claim it as a residence, that sort of thing.
Right. I can. The new people is definitely an easy one. The people that have been there, I could still say that, but
I understand.
you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, I could still say it.
So,
Right.
Steve, I have a question. Do you have someone managing this for you, or is there somebody on site right now? Like you said, you're not, but,
Well, there is actually. My girlfriend is there right now.
okay, so there is somebody that oversees when, like in the middle of the night or whatever.
Not in the middle of the night. No.
Okay. So you guys you're hands-on managing this, huh?
Well, it's something I have to try to get used to, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping it works to a point where I could just do that full time instead of trying to do two jobs. So,
Yeah, I hear you with
but
that.
yeah, I mean, it's I know we talked about police activity earlier, but there's actually quite a few nice people there. So.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with we're not casting aspersions on anyone who is there, or on you, on, any of the residents. It's just getting all of the right paperwork in place. And our objective is not to put you out of business. You always have remedies, as Charlie mentioned. The thing about having to vacate after 2 months, if there's cooking, if that is in the zoning laws, then you go to ZBA and seek relief from them. So, you have a lot of options. There are the doors, nobody's closing doors at this point.
Okay, I
And
actually.
we want to work with you.
I do like that idea, and that it kind of legitimizes it, I guess, for lack of a better term. I just wish I had known up front that all this, you can imagine how hectic it is already. And then,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
all right. So what you want me to do from now is, I'm going to get that letter from Bridget and I'm going to fill that out.
Yep.
I don't
But
have to ask
really-
anybody to leave at this point. Is that right?
Well,
Or
That falls into Charlie. And
Yeah, that's
so,
Charlie.
No, Steve, you don't have to ask anyone to leave, and I'm going to work with you on it. But the reason
Okay.
why we didn't know up front is because we didn't know if there was cooking units in there. I've never been in a unit, and we didn't know if
Okay.
people were long-term rental until you just said that there was people living there for a year or more. So we didn't have any of these facts to look into anything before.
I think what's happened is the rental properties have gotten so expensive that it's actually, you know, in line with, you know, they don't have to pay any utilities. I mean, there's certain benefits, even though it's still a fair amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have one payment instead of having 4 or 5 payments, and I think that's what
Right, but
that's what's happening. And
it's in the
Right.
wording of the zoning of motel, hotel compared to apartment house, and you don't, it's your option, but I wouldn't change the use because there may be a ton of hurdles to jump through.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would just try and stay within the parameters of the same use. If I were you, I
Okay.
think it would be the easiest path to follow.
and getting
Okay.
to that point,
Yeah.
Steve, according to the housing code, you have, like I said, you have to have a certain square footage in each unit for every person. And then, you know, so if you have a family of 4 in a 200 square foot studio apartment, you're right out of the gate. That, according to the housing code, is a violation because of the size and the number of people in the unit. So,
I see.
you know, having a hotel where somebody comes for, you know, even if it's an extended stay, like, you know, if they're transitioning into, you know, different housing situations, it's one thing to be staying there temporarily for, even if it's 30 days, but for people to be residing in a 200 square foot house with possibly a couple of children, or 200 square foot studio apartment with a couple of children, right out of the gate, you're in violation of the housing code because of the square footage component of it.
yeah,
And
and
then-
I could think of one family that probably is more than what it should be.
Okay.
And I did speak with them, and I know they're looking for a place, and
Okay.
I also know that they have some type of, I'll say, social worker or some type of a worker that has agreed
Yeah.
to let them stay there,
Okay.
just because the other alternative is they'd be on the street. So
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm kind of going by that piece, because I know a lot of times the state will put people in motels and they'll throw 6 people in a room just to get them out of the cold. So, and that goes
Right,
on
and that's-
sometimes for quite a while. So I
Right.
just don't want to be the guy going in and, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, and I know they have the extended stay motels now, and I understand that, but what we really need to be careful of is, you know, after you transition from a period of, let's say, 30 or 60 days, and now there's a family that's been in there for a couple of years, there's a difference between that and, you know, I would say a hotel, motel. So that's just sort of what we're looking at. And that's, you know, again, when I send you the list of things that you need, that's part of it is, you know, who's in what unit for how long.
Okay, so you just need to know the motel piece, because there's an owner's unit / office, and then there's a 3-family building that's attached. Well, not really attached, but it's in between the Casa Manor building and then the Mr. Wallace's house. So there's a 3-family in between there that's part of, or at least it's on the property of the motel.
Is it part of the hotel or is it run separate?
It's sort of all in the same land, so I don't know what you would want to call it.
It would be all the same. We would need square
You want
footage
the
and
floor-
everything for everything
Okay.
on the property that you purchased
Okay,
as the
Okay.
Casamana Motel.
okay.
It's better to get all the information so we can look at it once instead of
Yeah.
leaving out a piece and then
Oh,
getting it later
that's
and
why
saying,
I-
oh, you need
yeah.
this, Steve.
Well, that's why I asked. I want to try to do this one time, and
Right.
whatever happens, happens.
Well, we have some incentive to do that too, so
Yeah.
we'll help you there.
Well, and I do. I want to do the right thing. I've started upgrading stuff. So, I mean, that's sort of what I've done in Ayer, quite a few times. So that was a while
Yeah.
ago, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
sort of
understand.
like to.
Yeah,
Well,
continue that.
thank you for letting me come in the middle of the meeting too.
Oh, yeah,
was
absolutely.
panic
It was your
setting in.
meeting.
No, it was yours. We
Well,
needed
You're the
there's
star
a lot of
of the day.
people. Yeah, Bridget, I think you got a message from me too. I took a shot that you may have answered at the
Oh,
Board of
Okay,
Health.
I'm sorry. Well, I was,
Oh, no.
I
I was
felt
calling
bad.
all over the place. I just
Yeah.
was looking for a link. I thought there'd be a link on here, and I'd click it, but.
So
So
before,
what's the date? You said early December
well,
was
hang on,
the
just
time?
before we pick a day, I just wanted to ask one other person. I also had a response here from Alan Manoyan that was kind of interesting because it had stated that in order to recommend any action, it would require additional analysis and discussion. So I'm just curious, Alan, is that your desire to do more analysis on this, or what were you thinking?
And hope, can you hear? Am I unmuted now? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes?
No,
you're
I
okay.
can.
Yes?
Yeah, I can
You
hear
can hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. Yes, it's just those, we in the Office of Community and Economic Development. Yeah, we just actually, and just listening to this dialogue really provided me with so much more understanding from all my colleagues and listening, to Stephen and also, yeah, this was part of it. And, in the Commonwealth now, the Baker administration before, they really are now being very proactive and really saying we really should not be, housing people, and especially families, long-term in motels. So in the Commonwealth,
Right.
there's a very strong movement, frankly, to start going it. And yeah, I mean, we've, this past year, we formed a affordable housing committee with the town, a housing trust. So yeah, we want to work, with Steve and with everyone here, that if there are families, and, it's right, they're in a position now where this is where, they have no alternative for housing. And we need to work harder to work with these folks and to see if there are, better long-term solutions. And Alicia Hersey, my colleague, and I, we took a walk out earlier in the week out on Page Street and actually went out and visited. And yeah, it was, it was clear there are, young children living in the units back there, and a couple of them. And so, yes, we'd like to do whatever we can to do a little bit more deeper analysis and hopefully, find some long-term solutions so that folks aren't in a position, and Steve is not in a position, someone like Steve, an owner like this,
Sure.
Yeah. And so this is great, but I do have just one question for Stephen. I know out front is a really kind of cool, retro, old, impressive pedestal sign for the Casa Manor Motel.
That's right. Yeah.
Really quite a prominent sign. Actually, it's a collectible now. It's a vintage, cool.
Yeah.
But that's not. Are you planning, Steve, on changing the panel of that from the motel to the new, Mimi's place? It's a new signage as an insert in that.
I wasn't planning on that, but
Oh,
I don't know. It's still a
Because it's no
Casamana
longer
Motel. It's just
oh,
it's still it
Oh,
has the
okay.
name,
gotcha.
but for
Right.
accounting and legal purposes, I had to have another
Right.
name. So
The LLC, right? So got it, and that's also right. Very good, thank you. I didn't. Okay, so that signage will stay as the Casa Manor Motel, and very cool, very good. Yes. Otherwise, no, we'll just look forward to in any way, providing support and assistance as we go through the process to, getting this in good shape and then coming up, frankly, with some long-term solutions for the folks, the families, so they can live in Ayer and, not have to live in a motel long-term.
Right, and there are people that there's just one person in there, so that's...
Yes,
Yep.
quite
yeah,
right.
so it's not all families, couples.
Yes.
So it's a bit of everything, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So no, just greatly benefited from listening to the dialogue and all of you. This was very helpful as a public hearing.
Great. I'm glad you joined us and weighed
Thank
in.
you.
So we look
Yes.
forward to you working on the larger team to get this
Yes.
straightened. Definitely.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Sure. So if anybody else has any comments, please weigh in. Otherwise, I would suggest we look at dates for when to continue. We have a meeting on November 9th, which is very soon, so I don't think that's going to give you a lot of time. The next meeting after that is November 23rd, but we do have an invitation out. But Bridget and Heather, you have not heard anything for sure if that party is taking that slot, right?
Well, I told them that was the next meeting date that they could be on, so I'm assuming they're taking that one.
Okay. Well, if you wanted to do the 23rd, we would have to check with the other party that we offered the time to, or another option would be, we have only one Board of Health meeting scheduled in December, and that is the 14th. But if we want to do it sooner and still allow ourselves some time to act on this or follow up in this calendar year, I would be fine moving, or setting a just special hearing continuation for the 7th. We don't have to wait until the 14th. So those are kind of your options, Steve. Does anything there jump out at you? I think November 9th sounds very soon.
Pam, can I make a suggestion on that before Steve answers?
Yes, of course. Sure.
We can always continue the meeting to the 23rd, and then if for some reason we don't have enough time to do it because the other notice we're going to have, and if Steve's not ready yet, we can just continue it again. Instead of, because that way we don't have to have, Steve doesn't have to make an executive decision right now if we're going to go into December, try to pick a new date. Just a suggestion.
Good point.
That way we have to continue it to a meeting date this evening, and if that's going to change, we don't know. So that's just my suggestion, to do that, and then we can just continue it again at the next meeting and not have to worry about it.
Is that okay with you, Steve? So that would be the 23rd of November. We can't promise it would be that evening for sure. That is Thanksgiving week. So, but nobody's traveling. Where are we going to go? So
the one flaw I see in that, though, is if I don't do it on the 23rd and somebody takes the other December dates, I'll be out in January. So I would rather take one in December. I mean, it does give me a little more time. I would like to maybe talk with Charlie a little bit more. It gives me more time to do some of those other things, not just the layout's going to take some time. I'm not a great drawer, but I'm guessing I can draw it well enough.
It doesn't have to be
seriously,
a great drawing, fortunately.
Yeah, when I tell you a drawing, do not stress out about it. It just needs to be legible.
Right.
It doesn't. It's not anything. We're just basically looking at just a quick layout. So don't stress about that. And if we push it to December, just if everyone is okay with it, I know that Charlie and I think Bob Bozak would be we planned on doing a joint inspection together. We might even be able to get that done before the public hearing, which I think would be important as well.
Oh,
That would be
Yeah.
ideal, yeah.
yeah,
So-
I'm hoping to have I'm hoping the fire situation is done by then. I was told, the engineer is supposed to call, Lieutenant Bozak this week. So, hopefully he does. He's come up with a plan and he needs to run it by, the
That
fire
it would be
department.
nice to start tying up some of the loose ends. Absolutely. So what do you think? We could keep it December 14th when we already have the meeting scheduled. I don't know if doesn't sound like anything's going to be a terrible crisis if, we still have outstanding things. Or I could, if there's nothing else going on that evening, Heather, you'd have to verify, we could shoot for December 7th.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you'd like. That's Pearl Harbor Day.
Yes.
But I'm willing to do it.
A day that shall live in infamy.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm
if
a
we can do
veteran, so.
Yeah.
So what day did you want to come out, Bridget, and do the inspection?
So I have to coordinate that. Charlie, are you still on?
Yes.
Okay, so I have to coordinate that with Charlie and Bob. So I honestly, I can't say for sure right now without all of
Okay.
us putting our schedules together. I mean, it can be in a couple of weeks. I'm not opposed to the December 14th, just because it gives us more time to get things done and work out some of these questions, which unfortunately, due to COVID, it's not
Right.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even this meeting. I can't be in the same room.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
We'll make sure that you get a notification with a clickable link for the next.
Yeah, I did. I don't know why. I just thought it was going to be in my email, and I went, uh-oh. And I guess I should have been a little more proactive on it, but I thought I was, but I guess I wasn't.
Yeah.
So.
We'll make sure we
But yeah,
get you next time.
Yeah, and Bridget, if you can give me a couple week notice on the inspection, just so I can take time off from work. That way I
Absolutely
can-
no problem. That was the issue that we have is that we're trying to get so many other inspections done in the schools that that works for me. So if that's okay with the board,
Okay.
I know
It's okay
in
with
Charlie.
me. The December 14th to continue till December 14th. It works for me.
Okay. So
Trish,
how
Does that work for?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
okay.
does it have to be reposted as?
Oh, you just make a motion, continue the public hearing to December 14th, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
You
Go ahead,
want
Pam.
a motion or you want me to?
Go ahead, Pam.
All right, then I will make a motion that we continue the special hearing for Mimi's Place, alias Casamana Motel to December 14th
At 5:30.
at 5:30 p.m.
I second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now, given that, I would like to make a motion then that we close this part out. No. Oh, that's right.
No.
We can't close.
Can't close. Nope, you don't close the hearing. You don't close anything until you close the meeting.
Okay.
After all these years, thank goodness somebody is still saving me from myself. It's
That's just what I do.
all right.
All the boards, I'm yelling at them for motions all the time.
Oh gosh. Well, you're a valuable asset in that respect. Okay, so then we'll get a list to you, Steve. You'll be hearing from Bridget or me or Charlie or everyone. Who knows? And we'll just keep working on this thing.
Okay. And if there's anything else that comes up in between, don't be afraid to let me know.
Yeah.
Because if I don't know, I can't do anything about it. So.
Right.
Yeah, and same for you. If you run across anything that you're not really sure how to handle, or when you get Bridget's list, I mean, Bridget doesn't bite very hard. So, you can always get back with her to get clarification.
No, Bridget is very knowledgeable and knows this stuff. So it sounds weird, but I do welcome people coming through and saying, you need a fire extinguisher there, or whatever it is. It's just so I know. I mean, you guys are the experts in this stuff. So, you're a resource to me. That's how I'm looking at it. So,
I don't mean to interrupt. I always feel like there's a delay on the phone, but did you get my email yesterday, Steve, just regarding the COVID aspect for running it now through COVID and what the responsibilities are of the owner?
yes.
Okay. So that was the other aspect of it, Pam and Trish, is that we, in addition to the hotel motel, obviously as a new owner of a business, there's responsibility for the COVID piece of the business as well. So I did send that off to Steve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So could I ask you a question, Bridget, on that? Just
Sure.
do you know where I could get some of these signs? Because I have like something I wrote on a note and stuck it on the window, but I see very professional looking signs sometimes in different places, and I would like to get some.
I can print them for you, or better yet, when I'm at the Ayer Town Hall, I can print them in color, and then just get them to you. I just don't have a color printer at my office, but I can, when I'm at the town hall next, I'll, Heather?
Yes.
How about if I send you the link, I can have you print them, right?
Yep, sure can.
Yeah. Yep. So I'll do that, Steve, and get those to you in color.
Okay. Would I pick them up there, or?
Yeah, Steve, I can hand them to you if you want to call. Like I said, Tuesdays we're there late, so if Bridget gets to me in time next Tuesday, I'm at work there until Tuesday's election day. Sorry. Any other day but that Tuesday. Another Tuesday, we're there late, so I can Tuesday other than next Tuesday to get those to you.
I can drop them off too if it's easier, so that you don't have to go. Because you said you work till 4:30.
Yeah, I usually get to the motel around 5:30.
Okay, so Heather, I don't mind dropping them off to him. I just can't print them in color, so I can send that to you.
Yeah, I can print them in
and
color.
then I'll just leave them at the motel for you. How's that, Steve?
That's good, and depending on when you get there, Gloria could be there too. So.
Okay.
All right, cool. Oh, thank you. That made it even easier. So appreciate that.
Yes, we even give out free gifts. Okay, so I'll print signs. Okay, so I'll do that next. I might even have it done this week.
Awesome.
Okay, or maybe not. I'll get them to you within a week. How's that, Steve?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's nice of you to do that too. So.
Okay.
All right. So if that's all that we have on the motel, then...
Just real quick before Steve leaves, I just want to apologize to him. I did send him the link on Monday when he called, and I just want to apologize if it wasn't clear. I just want to make sure that I did send it to him. I just wanted to apologize to him if it wasn't clear and he had trouble getting onto the meeting this evening.
Oh. What did it come up under? Because I never saw it.
Oh, yeah, no, I
wait a
sent you the
minute.
email, so I'm sorry if you didn't get it, but I did send it. It would have came, because it was a forward from Cindy, so it would have had probably her email address on there. So I just wanted to apologize if it didn't come through, you didn't see it, but I did send that on Monday when you called.
Oh, okay. Because I just looked. I go, wait a minute, it's right here, and I go, oh no, just got it. I see. You must have just sent something. Okay.
Yeah, who knows? But we'll definitely make sure that it gets out to you again. And then who knows? Heather, maybe emails may be going into your spam or Cindy or whatever. I have emails go missing all the time. So
I did check that, but no.
Yeah, we'll make sure next time that we beforehand we're all set. We don't want you to miss it or be late again, so we'll make sure we get it all figured out.
Is it possible to send it a few days ahead of time?
Oh, of course.
Oh, you can, okay. I didn't
Oh,
know
yeah,
if you
I
had to
usually
do it
have
within.
that all set, the Thursday beforehand, so I can send it to you then.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So December
Thank you.
14th at 5:30.
At 5:30. Yeah. Is that time okay for you? 5:30 or
It's tight, but, you know, I'd like to keep it on schedule. I'll make sure I'm here.
okay. All right. I know it is kind of early for meetings, but if you can do 5:30, then yeah, we'll just leave it at its normal time.
Okay.
All right.
All
Perfect.
right.
Then
Okay,
if,
I'll see you then, if not before.
absolutely. And anyone else on this call that, you have an open invitation to join us on that day. If you have more questions for Steve or anything you want to follow up on, by all means, call in to Pat 2. We'll be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all. So we just have a couple of, kind of regular Board of Health things. One is the minutes. And I'm looking for, I don't know if I have the minutes. Do I have the minutes?
Yeah, I sent them on, I think Thursday, when I sent the agenda and everything else. If you didn't, I just threw that on the agenda just to get them out of the way. If you guys don't have them in time or ready to review them, it's okay. We can put them off to the 9th.
Yeah, but let's do that because it's not.
Because I know when I sent the agenda to you the first time, I didn't have them on there, and I'm like, you know what, I'll throw them on there if they get taken.
No, that's okay. It's probably, I'm looking through my emails, but I don't want to keep everybody waiting while I do that.
I don't have them, Pam.
Okay, then we'll just move those minutes then to the 9th, and we will try to get that set of minutes, and then if you can have the minutes from tonight ready by then, that would be great.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll have an update for you too then about all the permits that are being sent out because we're in the midst of tobacco and trash haulers right now.
Yep, this is the time of year for trash. Anything with, we also have just this catch-all administrative matters, which is mail and bills. Does anyone have any mail or bills that we should be looking at and taking action on tonight?
I didn't know if Bridget was going to have anything that we could classify as mail, but right now there's nothing that's pressing that's come into the office.
I have no mail items.
Okay.
I just have inspections in the envelope, which I meant to bring Heather earlier this week, but I got sidetracked. So, but there's nothing major. I'm trying to just email you guys, if the complaints and give you updates that way. But
yeah, okay, that's no problem. We'll just put it on again. Well, that's always on our agenda. So
yeah,
kind of the last thing that I didn't want to make a specific agenda item out of it because we're not really discussing it. But as far as administrative matters, I just did want to let you, Bridget, and Trish know that, and Heather, of course, that I have sent a written notification to the select board about our opening. And I think I kind of messed that one up because I thought that I had notified them in my email, but I think it needed something more formal than that.
Oh.
So I guess the official then notification to them was, oh geez, I don't know.
The email that you sent me, Pam, on that was last week, the 21st. So I emailed Carly this morning asking about that, and she said that will come directly from the town manager's office. So we're just waiting for that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's nothing really to be done on our part. It's the select board is going to post it, set up a meeting, collect applications, but it is our intent to fill that open position. It's a very short term because it will expire this April, and then the person that's appointed would have to run again. But that could be a good thing too, because it, allows perhaps someone to try the position out for a short time and then see if they want to make a long-term commitment, like a 3-year term commitment to it. So nothing new to report. Just wanted you all to know that it's happened, and now it's in select board hands from here. All right. Anything else from anyone? No?
I'm good.
Okay. Then you feeling like making a motion, Trin?
I make a motion to end the meeting of the Board of Health meeting of Monday, November 28th. What time is it?
Wednesday, November 28th.
Wednesday. I always say Monday. Wednesday, November 28th at 6:57 to adjourn.
All right. I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
You so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy.
All right.